Molly was one of the best gals this world has ever sent out from above. She's asking, begging if we could go back to Abertax. It was her favorite place in the world. I wanted her to flash me that killer smile of hers. That smile was enough to bring an army to its knees. The day after our wedding, I figured it was only fair I take her back there. But she never made it to the city. You see, usually when couples talk about a fiery honeymoon, it's never literal. They would never expect it all to go up in a thick, dark smoke. A smoke that swallows all their plans, hopes, and dreams. But you see, things have a way of working out sometimes. Sometimes they work out good, sometimes bad, and sometimes a little something in between. It's just a roll of the dice, and however those dice land is what you're stuck with, good or bad. This is the story of what happens when those dice fall right off the table.
You're Tommy, yeah? A couple of my boys dragged you out of that mess of a car out on the highway.
I could hardly see straight. My ears were still ringing from the crash, and I couldn't tell if it was minutes ago or years. Only one thing was on my mind, though. Where is Molly?
It's a wonder you made it out of there. We saw one of the Nether family tearing into your car. New here. You haven't got a clue what's going on, do you?
I already didn't like this guy. Something stunk. Like a fish left in the back of a fridge, or a boiled Easter egg that went unfound for a couple weeks. He was right, though. I felt lost as a sailor blown off course.
You're in Abertax. It's the only town on a highway coming out this way, so you probably know that much. We were the lead researchers on everything in the Nether. By the look on your face, you know that much as well. I suggest you don't go sitting at a poker table anytime soon.
I spit in front of him, but kept quiet. Ma always taught me to keep myself level-headed. If I hadn't felt like I got crushed by a 20-ton train, I would have taken him down a few notches.
Charming. Long story short, we had a breakthrough. We thought we could control the creatures on the other side. We got greedy. We tried to take control of the creatures, and they weren't too appreciative of the gesture. Can't say I blame them.
It sounded about right. Most of the suits sitting around ordering hard workers, taking all the profits. Same old story. But this time they tried bossing around someone who wouldn't take it lying down.
They've taken over Abertax. It's their city now. They're off hiding away, pulling the strings on how everything's run here. No one's allowed to leave, most are afraid to even step outside. I was one of the people who helped summon nether creatures into our realm. I tried to control them too. There are demons hiding everywhere, but the biggest issue is the four. Four incredibly strong and exceptionally dangerous creatures who are running the place now.
Nothing he told me was surprising. You could read it all over him. He was holding himself up high and looking down on me, and everyone around him. Looked just like the kind of guy to get himself into a mess and drag everyone down with him. I heard all over, but picked myself up and started to walk away, tired of listening.
My guys saw the suit in your car. What was left of it, at least. You're Tommy the P.I., right? The guy who busted the Abertax weapons smuggler? The guy who set up shop and scared most crooks out of whatever towns you visited?
I already knew from the way he was talking that he wanted me to fix this mess. I needed to find Molly. Then we could head back the way we came and never look back. His flattery wasn't gonna do anything.
It's in your best interest to help me. To help the town. No one's getting out of here while the Big Four are in charge. Nothing gets in or out. Why do you think you got attacked?
That was his problem. These weren't my people. This wasn't my problem. They got themselves into this. My problem was getting out, but I already felt like a rat in a maze that was shrinking around me, closing in, cutting off all my exits.
The creature that attacked you? It got that pretty little gal you brought along with you. I'm sorry. She was already gone before my guys got there. You were out cold.
In those few words, my entire world shattered. Molly was the nearest and dearest thing to me. She was my life, and I felt the color get sucked out of the world. His eyes gave it away. He was telling the truth. Molly was gone.
You can still bring it justice. You can save this town. I've had my guys going all over looking for these creatures with no luck at all. They can hardly tell a clue apart from my left shoe, let alone accomplish anything as far as tracking a Big Four down. You can, though. You're a professional, Tommy.
I wasn't thinking of anything at all, other than Molly. I could hardly believe she was gone. I felt cold, and more than anything else, I was angry. I wanted to make the Four pay. They took the best thing in my life away. so I take everything they had.
Tommy, you're shaking. If you're gonna find these guys, you gotta keep your composure. Now look, the first of the four you gotta find is the Demon Horse. This guy's chasing folks down and snatching them off the street. I was able to track down this horseshoe that belonged to it. Maybe that could help you track it down.
I hardly heard a word he said. I just knew that I was a step closer to finding one of the big four. The shoe was less than ideal. I would have preferred a specific area to search, rather than chase some horse demon all over town. But it was distinct enough that the prints were there. I just had to follow them. I left without a word. I thought I'd fall apart if I opened my mouth, like a dam breaking and spilling into the night. This is the place that drove Molly and me out of town. On the outside, they just grew a bunch of plants. Wheat, carrots, the like. Nothing that would make someone think twice. Completely unassuming. I got hired for a job looking into the owner. The city thought he was dodging taxes and sent me in to poke around. I got sloppy. Thought it was nothing but someone looking to keep a little extra cash in their pocket. Can't blame them. Some of the shipping boxes they had were marked and packed with vegetables. Thought they were just shipping crops out to other towns, until I saw the cold steel hiding between carrots and apples. 3 of their goons came out and jumped me. Figured leaving was the best thing we could have done after that. It was only a matter of time before one of them came to make sure I stayed quiet about what I saw, and I couldn't let Molly get caught up in that. One, the Demon Horse. They're the first step to taking everyone down, and that's just what I intend on doing. For Molly. If I want to get some damage on the demon, then I'll have to get all the things back. Well, nothing I couldn't handle. It felt good to take a little back for what I lost. I can't back out of this now. The ball's in motion. I just gotta keep it rolling. Better get back to Mortifera.
I see it in your eyes. You took care of one, didn't you?
I felt a snarl come up, but I kept it in check. Mostly. Only one of us was gonna come out of that lair, and it sure wasn't gonna be some fiery monster. Nothing would have stopped me from avenging my wife.
That's one less obstacle in the way and one step closer to that vengeance you're looking for. You still want it, don't you? Good. That'll help you keep pushing forward to your goal. The next is two. A giant lizard that crept out of the portal. It would spy on people and blackmail them. For a sum, their secrets would be safe. Well, that's what they were told, at least. Doesn't matter now. What matters is that it's cutting off shipments to Abitax, then selling the food, tools, medicine, and other supplies to the citizens at 500% of their usual price. People are starving and sick because of it. Back when we had the demons under control before the Big Four got together to fight back, this lizard was actually pretty good at cooking the books, too. Pretty valuable skill as far as demons go. Kept on them on a pretty tight leash, but we let our guard down. Sometimes you forget that they ain't helping you out of the kindness of their hearts.
A creature coming through the portal or not doesn't justify forcing it to do your bidding. Who knows if they would have been as aggressive if Mortifera and the rest of his group hadn't tried to control the creatures. Might have been peaceful. Regardless, it had forfeited any right to mercy the second it was wrapped up in the attack on Molly. And I told him to give me the info on 2 before I lost my temper.
You gotta get back into it, I see. The lizard's feet are sticky, letting it grip to any surface. Well, get to it, Tommy.
Unlike 1, whose hooves left trackable prints in the ground because of the metal shoes, 2 didn't have that. 2's feet were sticky, though, a result of a weird, gooey slime. On the ground, it got hard to see because of people coming and going, covering the tracks. But on the walls and ceilings, that was a different story. This is one of the most green and vibrant places in all of Abitax. Molly would always bring me out here just to take it all in. Never really my kind of thing. But seeing her get excited about it made it more than worth it. Molly may be gone, but that hasn't stopped this place from being as full of life as ever. Lost the trail. Where did I last see it? Ugh, I'm absolutely covered in this slime. So are the walls around here. I'm getting close. 2 should be just inside. Demon seems to be awful scared of the light. I can hurt it if I catch it off guard. Gotta be quick about it, though. Well, that's 2 of them down, and 2 more to go. For the first time in a long while, I feel like I'm doing something right. I'm avenging Molly, yeah, but I'm getting to help the whole city too. Mortifera should have the info on 3 ready now.
Another one off the list. The streets are a little safer now, thanks to you. Run into much trouble?
I laughed when he asked that. If that had been something I'd consider trouble, I wouldn't have made it this far in this line of work. The cold of the night was biting into my skin, but I hardly even felt it.
Looking for 3 already. I must say I applaud your ambition. Still thinking of that gal, I'm sure. You're just about there. After this one, you'll have what you're looking for.
Just hearing this guy mention her got my blood boiling. He made a mess of her favorite town, her favorite place, and her life, and hardly even tried to fix it or the mess he helped make. He was playing me like a fiddle, getting me to do exactly what he wanted. But the only thing I wanted was to make the 4 pay.
3 is a fire bat. I'm curious to see how you track this one down. They don't have feet, so what are you gonna do? Check every single building in town? 3 terrorizes the city just like 1 and 2 had, but 3 goes around setting buildings ablaze and shaking people down for what little they have left. You know the drill.
3 travels by flying, usually something almost impossible to track. They never land on the ground and don't climb around on walls or ceilings. This was my first bit of luck since arriving in Evertax. 3 was a fire bat, so it'd give off a faint trail of smoke here and there, just enough to see if you knew what you were looking for, like faint little gray brush strokes suspended in the air, waiting for someone to come along and follow them right to the painter. They used to sell these great meals up here. Couple of demons flipping hot sandwiches at one stall. Someone selling tools at the next. The stall with the dazzling jewelry, each twinkling like tears falling through the air. A ring stood out to me, and I knew I needed to buy it. Blew a month's pay on it, and it still didn't feel like enough to make Molly mine, but she loved it all the same. I never really knew why this was here. Didn't make sense for it to be water storage, otherwise people wouldn't have been allowed to swim in it. Never did see the water level rise or drop either. I've gotten thrown in twice. Once when I was messing with Molly, trying to push her in. She caught my arm, gave me a wink and sent me flying. She jumped in after me, laughing the whole time. I knew she was trouble, but the best kind of trouble. And I was head over heels for her ever since. With how the water smells and looks now, I wouldn't let my worst enemy drink it, because the effects would be downright inhumane. There's practically nothing anyone could do to make me swim in it now. I couldn't help but notice people kept looking at me through windows or around corners as I tracked 3 down. I've got people rooting for me. I'm hoping I don't let them down. Pulling it down isn't enough, but that doesn't seem to be hurting it. A blast from one of these geysers could do the trick, though. 3 was hardly any trouble, but thinking about 4... 4 was the one who took Molly from me. I tore down 4's little crime ring, and now I was ready to take them down too.
I was expecting, that's for sure. Had quite the knack for this, Tommy. Means this last one should be a piece of cake for you, yeah?
I wasn't sure about it being quite so easy, but I was sure that I was going to get it done, or die trying. 4 took Molly from me, so I needed to settle the score.
That's right. This one is 4, what everything's been leading up to. 4 is a pigman, some weird, twisted creature from the darkest pits of the Nether.
Regardless of what 4 was, or what it was capable of doing, I couldn't hesitate. Taking out the other 3 members of its team was surely going to send it into hiding.
Now watch your back, Tommy. All of Habitats needs 4 gone, not just you. You're the only one who's gonna be able to do it. Now get going.
Lost the trail. Where did I last see it? The trail's gone cold. I should double back. Lost the trail. Where did I last see it? place used to be a demonology lab. People would come from all around to tour the place, join the effort, all that. It was always way too far over my head. I had more of a knack for cracking people's heads rather than using my own. Supposed to be the place Abertax brought in the demons. Everything kinda went downhill from there. I still don't know how they thought they'd get away with binding the demons here, then making them work for little or nothing. Not seeing any more tracks this way. Not seeing any more tracks this way. Lost the trail. Where did I last see it? The trail's gone cold. I should double back. Not seeing any more tracks this way. This is it. 4. It was tough to track, and getting here was quite a task, but it's done. I'll be able to walk in, take him down, walk back out, and leave Abertax for good. Maybe everyone here will be able to rebuild and get things back to normal. I hope so, at least. There's only one way to deal with a monster like this. Send it back through the twisted portal it came from. Finally. It doesn't bring Molly back, but it helps to ease the pain a bit knowing that she can rest easy now. The four are gone, and Abertax should be able to turn back into the place she loved. Mortifera should be expecting me. I'll let him know four is gone, and that I'm headed out. Wasn't quite sure what it was, but something was off. It was a little too quiet for a newly freed town. I wasn't quite expecting fireworks or a celebration, but I would have settled for Mortifera not trying to kill me.
Ah, Tommy, a pleasure to see you again. You know, for such a clever PI, I would have thought you'd have pieced it all together by now.
I had a feeling he was bad from the second I started working with him. For him, more like. The whole setup was just a little too convenient, but I didn't expect him to be, well, as bad as he was.
Now you see, Tommy, if you'd been around Abertax a little longer than you were, you would have known there was the big 5, not 4. Unfortunately for you, the citizens were absolutely terrified, wouldn't dare say anything, unless they wanted to go missing. It truly was kind of you to take care of my associates. Far too much work to track them down myself, and now I don't have to rule Abertax with anyone trying to compete with me.
I have to give him credit. It was a great plan. Have one capable person take out 4 of your enemies, then you only have one guy to deal with. Sadly for him, he messed with the wrong guy. I've never been a fan of getting tricked. Mortifera played me like a fiddle and tried to get away with it. That ain't gonna happen as long as I'm still around. I'm gonna make him pay, and I'm going to love every second of it.
I'm looking forward to burning Abatex to the ground.
After I take everything that's not bolted down. I don't get why a gal like this place so much. It was a dump long before I ever came around. Oh well, not like you can ask her, can you? Let's make this quick, Dolly.
This is Mortiferous Scythe. I'm sure you wouldn't be a fan if I sent it at him. Abratex was always so focused on being on the forefront of technology and magic. Labs like this popped up all over town, trying to come up with the next big breakthrough. Learning all about the Nether and how to exploit it, each of them just wanted to take. Wanted to be wolves in a shepherd's pasture, able to snag whatever they wanted. With the Nether running the show here now, seems kind of funny that the power Abertax tried to gain ended up costing them all the power they had. Icarus flew a little too close to the sun. The Abertax security headquarters. Had my own little visit here once. A couple of times. Guy tried to steal Molly's purse and slid into the crowd like a snake into grass. Tracked him down. I've always been good at that. I got my hands on him. Molly had to come bail me out when the police caught up to me. Catching him was one thing, they said. Throwing him off a bridge was another. My mom always taught me to look after my people. I kept that up even after she was gone. Molly sure made quite an impression on her. Ma would have come out of her grave and shoot me out if I didn't take good care of my gal. This is Mortiferous Scythe. I'm sure he wouldn't be a fan if I sent it back at him. And that was that. The other four were already gone. And after I dealt with Mortifera, the rest of the demons that came through just left as quickly as they had come. Little by little, the citizens of Everbloom started to come out and see that their city was theirs again, as long as they took it. Many thanked me. They offered me the key to the city. None of that was really all. The local businesses were bending over to give me food, clothes, housing, and whatever else I needed. I hung around Everbloom a while, made sure things were staying under control. The government was reforming nicely and made sure the nether portals were shut down permanently. Thought about getting a place of my own there, but Everbloom was always more of Molly's city than mine. It was a spare car that the city was happy to give me, and I set off. Unfortunately, this isn't one of those stories where Molly miraculously comes back to life and we live together happily ever after. It still hurts every day when I think about her, but it is getting easier, day by day. I made it here, to this city, and decided that this is where I'd stay for a while, until it got boring. Then, I'd pick up my stuff and head off to the next place that calls me. Maybe solve a couple of cases here and there to help some people out, keep myself entertained. Maybe I'll even write a book about all this someday. I'm still figuring my life out. That's okay.
Is all that really true, mister?
That it is. Say, I've been talking forever now. Where are your parents, kiddo? Oh. Hey.
Can I get your
Are you still doing
mister?
PR with your hero?